Alright, just something I want to bring up real quick. This is a remake of a video I made 2 years ago, but the one I made 2 years ago was really bad. The audio was horrible, it got like 200 views, and the gameplay quality was in like 140p. So I'm gonna go ahead and retake this video. It's a terrible Elden Ring review, but I think the worst thing about this review is the fact that the guy reviewing the game hasn't even played it. I'm not even kidding. The guy who's reviewing a video game has not played said video game. Which, I mean, that kind of takes away the entire purpose of a review because you're reviewing your experience that you had, but this guy hasn't even experienced it, so whatever, dude. Let's just get into it.
So Elden Ring completely sucks, and I guess it's up to me to prove it.
I mean, yeah, if you're gonna put out a video called Elden Ring Sucks, you better prove it. That's just how this type of shit works, man.
Elden Ring is from Software, a company that works titles as though they have the limited ingredients of a Taco Bell menu.
Gonna be completely honest, I have no idea what he's really attempting to say right now, but whatever.
Okay, we have a ring. Okay, we've got an Elden. We're gonna mix and match though. Elden Ring, and it is a charismaless, motivation-free, derivative, repetitive death loop.
The only way that this game is a repetitive death loop is if you're not very good at it. But the more you play, the better gear you get, the more strategies you learn, the less of a death loop the game becomes. The game has a very steep but yet very rewarding learning curve.
Oh, but Vaughn, come on, don't be so hard on a game. You haven't even beaten it yet.
I mean, yeah, typically it's expected that you have to beat a game before you review it, because if not, you're gonna get things wrong. You're gonna say things that are incorrect, like that one Sekiro review I went over where the guy said there was no special moves, despite the fact that you can unlock some later on.
Oh, I hear those complaints from that Hollow Knight review, and I one-up you. I haven't only not beaten Elden Ring, I haven't played it.
So why in the fuck are you reviewing a game if you haven't even played it yet? That's like me reviewing a book I haven't started reading yet, or reviewing a movie I haven't started watching yet.
See, I am so attuned with my criticism, I don't even have to play a game anymore to judge it.
Yes, you kinda do have to play something in order to give a review of it and judge it, because if not, you don't know how it truly feels. It's completely different to watch somebody discover something in Elden Ring and actually discover it yourself. It's completely different to watch somebody overcome a challenge in Elden Ring and actually overcoming the challenge yourself. It gives a whole different feeling when you do it yourself.
Look, if it's raining shit outside, do you need to stand in it to realize you don't want to be in it? But if you must know, I did watch and try to guide a friend through a 2.5-hour live stream of nothing but pain and agony.
I mean, the person you're watching play Elden Ring died to the Beast of Farum Azula using a magic build. No wonder you think this game is a repetitive death loop. Just because your friend's having a hard time with the game doesn't mean everyone else will.
So you have this brief little cutscene trying to indicate that the Elden Ring has been destroyed and you as a Tarnished are quested to defeat all the bosses in this world and that will restore power. Why does this matter?
You know, if you actually played the video game that you were doing a review on, you would know the answer to this question. This is why it's extremely important to actually play through something before doing a review on it. How can you seriously sit here and do a review if you don't even understand the story and narrative of the game?
It's not like you have a dying mentor you need to take care of, or a wife and kid at home, any villagers to save. You have no motivation whatsoever. And you're labeled as a Tarnished, which may as well be the N-word in the Between Worlds.
Excuse me, what? I don't know where you're drawing that comparison from. I don't understand what the fuck you're going on about. Are you seriously trying to draw a comparison between the word tarnished and a fucking racial slur?
Of Elden Ring here, because who wants to call themselves Tarnished? So after your little tutorial showing you all the
Can I just point out the fact that this person died to the Soldier of Godric without getting a single hit in on him? You're making a review based on your friend's gameplay who can't beat the tutorial boss. How can you expect anybody to take you serious?
rudimentary hack and slash, you got your character creation, all this sort of stuff. You get out into the open world. Oh wow, it's so open. Which is code for, we're not going to design levels anymore. Instead, we just populate a world, and then you get to play it the way you want to.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of the entire point of an open world game. It's completely open. You can go where you want to go and play how you want to play. Obviously, there's a few limitations, like you can't just go straight up to the Altus Plateau, but for the most part, it's a really open game. You can go straight up to Margit at Stormvale Castle, or you can go around Stormvale Castle. You can go off to Caelid, it's all up to you. But apparently giving players choices like this is a bad thing?
Except in this game, it punishes you for not playing it the way they want you to play it. Case in point, this asshole over here says that you're maidenless, and you're like, okay, what the hell's that about?
Once again, as I pointed out earlier in this video, you should play the game and then you'd know what he's talking about.
Then there's this tall guy on a horse, and I guess maybe you want to avoid this because he's going to murder your ass. So you go off in the other direction and make shit all progress in 2 hours of searching for your humble steed, which the game promised you.
You making no progress in 2 hours is completely your fault. Also, you can get the steed in like 5 minutes, you just gotta rest at like 3 different sites of grace.
It is after this point you have to look shit up and realize that the game wanted you to sneak past the tall guy on the mount.
I mean, you don't have to sneak past a tree sentinel, you can kill him to get some runes. I always do it on every single new playthrough, but it's kind of standing there as a lesson to teach you. And that lesson is, you don't have to fight everything you see the second you see it. You can leave it for later once you're more powerful and come back to it. It's teaching you that you can go around challenges and come back to them later.
Rest at some campfire, and then some gal who is partially blind will give you a steed ring, which is actually a whistle, but we're calling it a ring. But I see a ring, but it's labeled whistle, so lazy. Even better, return back to that asshole who called you a maidenless tarnish. Once you have a maiden, he won't even recognize it.
Once again, why you should complete a game before making a review. She's not a real maiden, she's playing the role of a maiden. I kid you not when I say this, I think this is the worst review of Elden Ring I've ever seen in my life. So far, here's my issues with the review. First of all, you haven't played the game. Second of all, you're nitpicking every single thing you can to hate on the game. Third of all, you're blaming your lack of progress on the game. And fourth of all, you don't understand anything about the game.
Since when did we program NPCs to have dialogue that doesn't update to the shit's sake?
Once again, the reason the dialogue isn't updating is because you didn't truly find a maiden. Melena's just playing the role of a maiden.
In the meantime, you are dealing with just generic mobs of enemies out there ready for you to kill, just sitting around waiting for you to engage combat.
Yeah, because you're in the beginning area of the game. The enemies in the beginning area are obviously going to be a bit easier to kill than enemies later in the game, or enemies in like Caelid, for example. As you get later and later into the game, the enemies start to have more complex movesets and become more and more aggressive. And every single video game is like this. At the beginning of most games, the enemies are very basic, but as you move on, the enemies get stronger and stronger.
When you take hits because you will, you have the hitbox of a Buick. Your character makes all of 2 sounds, the grunt of being hurt and the grunt of dying. Get used to it, because your best attack is to spam customer support for a refund.
That has to be the most Reddit joke I've ever heard in my life. Like, that is straight up some shit you'd see on r/gaming.
And it's not like my buddy Motels on the Moon is bad at games.
I mean, if you can't beat the Soldier of Godric, you're bad at games, I'm sorry. Not being able to beat the Soldier of Godric is like not being able to kill a Goomba in Mario.
We did a co-op live stream of Halo 2 on Legendary difficulty.
Okay, 2 completely different genres of games. One is a first-person shooter, and the other one is an RPG.
My favorite game, after which Motel said it was just mediocre. And that hurt. But come on, it's hours of getting slashed between walls and having a dog attack you with a shoulder roll. What dog in history has ever attacked with anything but its teeth?
You're literally finding every single little thing you can criticize on this game. You're just nitpicking at this point. Like, who the fuck complains about how a dog rolls in a video game?
I realize that this game isn't chock full of glitches. Is that enough to appease the media these days? Oh, you got your early access, you got to play this game probably 2 weeks in advance, you get to complete it, put your review out there at the embargo. Yeah, you're big time. Yeah, IGN is as credible as a critic as CNN is journalism. From Software put this game out on a Friday so that YouTubers wouldn't be expected to have a video up on Saturday or Sunday, because YouTubers are going to have that Monday through Friday video, yeah? Giving everybody plenty of time to pre-order this garbage and not be able to get their refund.
It seems like you're just jealous that you didn't get an early review copy, but the reason they put this game out on the weekend is, believe it or not, so that people can play when they're likely not at work or school. Literally so many game devs do this, they release their game on the weekend. How is it any different with Elden Ring?
If you are suffering through a sleepless night, then please play Elden Ring. It will induce narcolepsy. I give Elden Ring a 2.0 out of 10.
Alright, and that brings us to the end of the video. Basically, Elden Ring sucks because this guy didn't play it, he doesn't understand the story, his friend couldn't beat the Soldier of Godric, his friend couldn't make any progress in 4 full hours, and dogs attack with their shoulder. Alright, I'm out.